All right, this is going to be an easy video about changing the front brake pads on a Dodge Journey. What do you need? Of course, you'll need brake pads. Got it. And the brake hardware comes with this one, unlike some of the other ones. So, and you're gonna need a brake caliper compression kit. This one I've been using for years and years. Love it, love it, absolutely love it. I'll show you how to set that up in a minute. I use anti-seize for everything, especially on my vehicles. And of course, you're gonna need the jack stand and the jack. Ensure that you're using the jack stand because you don't want any accidents here. And to hold this, to hold the caliper up, some folks will use bungee cord or some kind of cord equivalent, zip tie, whatever. I am not gonna do that because I've done this brake job probably 10 times before, and I know exactly how much it weighs, what I can and can't get away with. So bottom line is, of course, you take the tire off. It's 19 millimeter all the way around. Take the tire off, tire's off. After that's said and done, what I usually do is I just take the one bolt. As you can see back here is a caliper bolt. What I do is I just remove the bottom one, and they're 13 millimeters. It shouldn't be hard to it shouldn't be too tight, because if you try to tighten it too much, probably gonna break it off in there and you're gonna have a bad day. So once that's broke, go ahead and take that bolt out. If you look at this bolt, you'll see anti-seize from the last time I used it. This is gonna prevent rust. It's gonna prevent it from seizing with the caliper itself, and cost you. It's gonna, in the long run, a lot less headache than you would have if you didn't use it. Okay, so it's a little bit cold out here today. So once you remove that, the caliper itself, you can lift it up. Now I'll tell you, sometimes it's a little bit hard and you need to put a pry bar under here or a screwdriver, but mine isn't, because I already. So you go ahead, it just lifts up just like that. You don't have to remove that second bolt. The reason I didn't remove from top to bottom is because if you do that, you're gonna put too much stress on the brake line, and we don't want that. So I removed the bottom one and then just pull it up. Once that happens, the old brake pad, the piece fell off. This is, they never secure these on here correctly. They're just on there. I don't even know. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even know why this is on here. Some kind of to protect the brake pad or whatever. So bottom line with that, yeah, I don't know what you guys missed. I was trying to show you how to use the caliper tool, and I think somehow stopped recording. But basically, this tool, simple. It just goes in there like that. You tighten it up. Get it tight and secure it into place. And once that happens, and it's in place, I'm gonna use this to tighten it up and give it pressure, and that pressure is gonna push the piston in can't push this one in anymore because already did it. So once that's correct and that's done, you're gonna grab your brake pad, make sure it's the right one. You know it's the right one for the outer side because it doesn't have this piece right here. That's the inner. So if you ever lose your orientation and you can't figure out how this goes back in here, just go and take the wheels off on the other side and look at the other side for reference. So you'll put that in. First of all, let's back up. So these are the old software, hardware that I took out. They just basically pop out just like that, and then the new one just fits back in right inside the slot. Same thing up top. And then once you get that in, you want to take your brake pad, fit it in that slot. Once it's in that slot, you want to, it's a little bit difficult here. You'll probably think you have the wrong brake pad because you're like, man, I can't get it in there. But you want to tilt it to the side just a little bit and push it over to where it's lined up with that slot. Once you get it lined up with that slot, you're gonna re-tilt it back this way, and that's gonna fall into place. Then you just push it all the way on. As you can see, it's sitting in place, right? So what I like to do, brake grease. You want to use brake grease here so that it does not seize. It does not get seized up onto the caliper itself here. And so it's kind of up here and there because that's where it falls into place right there. I do not use that this grease. I use that for my caliper bolts. What I'll do, I use some anti-seize instead. Hey, I'm sure there's gonna be some smart guy in the comment section that's gonna tell me that that's not what I should be doing, but that's what I've always done. It works for me. It keeps it from seizing together. It keeps keep it from making a mess with this grease. Once that's done, you're gonna do the other side. Like I said, the other side is pretty much has this piece that indicates that this is the inside. This is the outer edge. It's like that's the outer edge. If you put it this way, it would look kind of funny and it wouldn't fit. I think it's foolproof. Don't want to call anybody a dummy, so I don't want to use the terminology dummy proof. So if I could get a good camera angle on this, so as you can see, I'm sitting it right in the groove, and then the same thing up top. I sit it in the groove, and then you push it on. The reason I'm not pushing it on is because I did not change the hardware. Just realized that. So we're gonna do it together. If I could get, so pretty much these things just pop out. They just pop out and just like that. And then the new ones, there's a piece back here. You want to slide it over like that and then push down. So slide it back there, make sure it fits in place, then push down just like that, and voila, the hardware has been changed. that top piece off. And then same thing. Put a new one in. Make sure it's seated. And then take your brake pad. Take your brake pad. Sit it in there. Just like so. And then move this top piece over and slide it on just like that. You hear that click or that audible sound? Boom. Brake pad on the rear side is on. All the way on. Double check. Make sure that it's in that slot. Double check on the top. Make sure that it's in that slot. Hardware is secured. Same thing on this side and this side. And the same thing. Go ahead and put some anti-seize or brake lubricant, if that's what you want to do, on this side, so that it doesn't seize up on the caliper itself. Once that's done, this is a job pretty much, guys. You're done. Not all the way done, because you gotta put it back together, but bottom line is, let's put it back together so that I leave no stones unturned. I'll get that side, and then what we're gonna do, and this vehicle is 10 years old, right? My wife's car, and it has no rust because I use that anti-seize all the time. So now what we want to do is we want to sit the caliper back in place. Now, if we didn't compress the pistons, this thing will not fit back in place. I can guarantee you that. So once you probably have a problem, because this thing extends, and that's how the piston goes in and out when you press on the brake. So you want to push that in so that you secure it just right. Remember, I only removed one bolt, and that's it, to really change the brake pads. Just double check everything, make sure everything is good to go, and then you could return the bolts. As you can see, I already had anti-seize on this one from the last time I did this job. I'm not gonna put anti-seize on this further because I'm confident that it's good. Now, if you need some grease inside the boot, it's quite simple. You can remove just like that, and then give me a chance to break this package. All right, so the package is broken, and you could add, depending on how much grease is already on this thing, go ahead and add some new grease. You don't have to do both sides. It will rotate and do it for you. All right, so that boot is there to protect and keep the grease in. So you want to make sure you slide that boot back on, just like so. Give it a few wiggles, make sure that grease is all in there on all sides. And then remember, we did not remove the one from the top, so we're gonna do the top separately. Once again, slide the whole caliper back down. Push that in, make sure that's in. Take your bolt, already has anti-seize on it, and then you want to secure it. See, everything goes in so good because I've always been able to do this, fix this car, it, do this car, I mean, all the time when it's supposed to be serviced. So I don't know, I don't have any issues with parts seizing up or any of that stuff. So now we can remove the bolt from the top. If you want to add some there's my wife back there complaining about something, I don't know, but add some grease to this side also. Don't waste it, because if you're doing the rear calipers, you're gonna need some grease also. Now the rear calipers are a little bit different, and I want to prepare you for that. The pistons are different. You're gonna need a different tool to compress the pistons. Different tool to compress the pistons now back there, because you gotta push in and turn, push in and turn. So these ones are not gonna do it. This one might, but I have that tool separately also. It's like a square type of tool. We'll get to that on another video. All right, so turn it, jerk it, make sure that we have enough lubricant. The reason why lubricant is in here is because when the caliper expands, when you push on the brakes and the caliper expand, it pushes in like that. It has to have room to push in like that. And when you release the brakes, it comes back out, and then so forth and so on, right? So that's why that's important. All right, so we got that piece there, and then we're going to replace the bolt. I always make sure that is some anti-seize on there still. Anti-seize is my friend. I've learned two things to be a good technician or mechanic. One, take your time and do it right the first time. And two, with the right tools, you won't have a problem. If you have the wrong tools, 30-minute job, each side 15 minutes will take you all day. And then you want to go back through and check everything and torque these bolts down. I don't know exactly what the torque specs are currently. I want to say it's 90 foot-pounds, but I'm not sure, so I'm gonna look it up. And you could always find if you type in 2012 Dodge Journey torque spec caliper bolts, you'll find it. So we torque them down, boom, we're done, and that's it. Do a little bit of inspection on all the components of the vehicle. Make sure everything is in its right place and everything is still good. And then you go ahead and put the wheels back on. Make sure that you torque that bolt. You torque the one in the bottom also. And then put the tires back on and the job is complete. And then we'll do the other side. Thank you for watching. I didn't want to make this video too long, but I wanted to make sure that you actually got a visual of everything. This is an easy DIY job. Probably if you go to the dealership, you're paying upwards of $600-700 just to do the brakes on both sides. and probably more if you want the back done. If you follow my instructions, you'll be just fine. And thank you for watching Lube Time. Once again, we're here to save money together, to do it DIYs together, and to do it the right way all the time. Thank you for watching, and have a blessed rest of your week.